All right, folks, we're back with our tips for Tuesday. This week, what we're going to cover is we're going to start a couple-week progression on how to do pull-ups, all right, strict pull-ups. So if you're a little weak in the pull-up area, this video is for you. All right, so a couple things we're going to talk about is anatomy. We got a model here that we're going to show you what we're talking about in terms of the shoulder complex. And this week we have Chelsea with us again that's going to demonstrate what we're looking for in the pull-up position. And then next week, we're going to get into some actual progressions and how to build that pull-up over time. Okay, so what we're looking at here is what forms a shoulder complex. Mainly three bones. Okay, so we're going to have Chelsea turn this way for us. And we took the liberty of drawing on her back a little bit, which she's super happy about. We promise it's washable, right? Permanent marker always is, isn't it? All right, so this is our right shoulder. So if we put this right here, here's what we're talking about. We got our wing bone here, which is the scapula. We have our arm bone here, which is the humerus. Okay, and then on top, if you can see, this is our clavicle. Okay, so that S bone that's on top. Those are your three main bones that form the shoulder. Okay, now in and around the shoulder complex here are a bunch of muscles and tendons that need to be activated when you're doing pull-ups. So we're just going to call it, for general sake, scapulo-thoracic muscles. So when we are in a hang position on a bar, you want good scapulo-thoracic activation. All right, so we're going to talk about what we're looking for in that area. All right, so we're going to take the model away here. We're going to have Chelsea come on over here to our pull-up bar. Okay, so here's the situation. When you are hanging from a bar, just hang like, general hang. That's what we call a lazy hang. There's no activation here in the scapulo-thoracic joint. In reality, the only thing that's holding you on the bar, okay, you can hop back in the box, are four little rotator cuff tendons, all right? And so people, if they're not doing proper shoulder activation when they're doing the pull-up, what they're going to do is over time they're going to develop tendonitis in the shoulder and some other injuries too that can be associated with that. All right, and that's because those four rotator cuff tendons are getting pinched. So if you look at the model right here, all right, here's one of those actual tendons. It's called the supraspinatus tendon, and it runs underneath the clavicle here, or the acromion process, and just above your arm bone. So this is if your arm's at a hanging position, which it is right now. But check it out. If I go and raise my arms up on the bar and hang from a bar, you can see what happens is that space, called your subacromial space, will actually pinch the tendon here, all right? And now if you don't have proper activation in the shoulder with the bigger muscles, all you're doing is taking that, and if you're doing pull-ups or even kipping pull-ups, it'll just be constant rubbing here of that tendon, and it'll grind it down, all right, and cause tendonitis. And then over time, we're talking about a rotator cuff tear too. So those are things that we want to try to avoid by doing proper activation in a hang position. So Chelsea's going to go ahead and show us that. All right. You know what? Let's do it like this. So hop off. Okay, hop off the box. Okay, let's have you face that way. So, yep. All right, so here was the purpose of us drawing on her back. So go ahead and hang just normal. Right, you can see here's her wing bones here. Okay. All right, now she pulls them down and in. They go where the lines are. That's active shoulder. That's where I want you to be. Go ahead and relax. And you can see what her wing bones do. Right, her scaps just kind of phase out right here. There's no activation here. Pull them back up and in. Boom, right here. Nice positioning here, the scapulo-thoracic joint. Okay, go ahead and hop in the box. Okay, so when she's in this position here, she's just hanging. What's going on here, folks, is the wing bone, right, your scap is just coming out here like this. All right, so there's no activation. It's not being held in place. It's not setting up that shoulder joint for good success. All right, but once you activate those scapulo-thoracic muscles, you're pulling the wing bone down and in. All right, now we've got a nice, good neutral position here. You're setting up this shoulder position and complex here for success in the pull-up position. All right, okay, and then the other thing we want to show you is once you're in that active hang position, okay, let's go facing the camera. So we'll pull the box out, go back to what we were originally showing. Okay, so she's going to go ahead and hang from the bar, active hang. Okay, now let's pull yourself back and then come back and stop. All right, so can you successfully do a few of these reps? Here's what we're looking for. Let's go ahead and do it. Pull back, come back and stop on a dime. Pull back, stop on a dime. So what you have to do here is practice hollowing out here as well too. Go ahead and step on the box. All right, so you have to have midsection tightness here, right? Core activation. So the bottom of the rib cage pulled into your hips. You got to make sure you're in that hollowed out position. All right, so again, this goes back to ass and abs. You got to have them tight when you're doing pull-ups too as well. All right, so the other thing I want to show is when you're in that hang position, we want to be able to accumulate. All right, so one of the things that comes into play when you're doing pull-ups is grip strength. All right, so what you want to be able to do is build up to a 30-second active hang on the bar. All right, we're not going to ask Chelsea to do 30 seconds, but it would look something like this. So go ahead and hang from the bar. All right, active hang, hollowed out, hold that for 30 seconds tight. Okay, go ahead and step up in the box. Okay, once you can do that, then we know that you have the grip strength to begin some strict pull-up progressions. So for the next week, try to build on that scapulo-thoracic activation, build into a 30-second hold. You can break it up and do an accumulation of 30 seconds where maybe you're doing 3 sets of 10, 6 sets of 5 seconds, whatever you want to do, and then build from there and try to do 30 seconds unbroken straight. All right, until you can do that, right? Then you can, or once you can do that, then you can build into our strict pull-up progression that we're going to cover next week. So until then, see you next week.